peace that comes from asking for His grace is unlike anything else. The person who truly needs many prayers. Sometimes, if God wills, many of those prayers are fulfilled. But here's the important truth. Prayers that focus only on worldly gains, wealth, comfort, status, do not bring true peace. They may bring temporary satisfaction, but they cannot fill the emptiness of the heart. Real, lasting peace comes only from God's mercy, from His blessings, from His grace. Think about it. How often do people chase after worldly things, thinking that achieving them will finally make them happy? They work hard, they plan, they struggle, and yet the satisfaction is fleeting. One success is replaced by another desire. One achievement is followed by another worry. Happiness is always just out of reach. This is because the world alone cannot give peace. True peace comes from seeking God and recognizing His grace in our lives. Even if someone is poor, they recognize and accept God's blessings. They are truly rich. Even if someone is wealthy, if they do not acknowledge God's grace, they are poor in the truest sense. This is a lesson we often forget. Money is not the measure of comfort, and poverty is not the measure of hardship. It is gratitude, recognition, and trust in God that create true fulfillment. God's mercy is everywhere, all around us, flowing like the rain. Just as the rain falls without asking, and seeds sprout without command. God's blessings come naturally when the time is right. We cannot demand them like we demand something from another human being. One cannot say, give it today or tomorrow. God's grace comes in its own time, in its own way, and always at the perfect moment. Think about a farmer planting seeds. He cannot force the rain. He cannot make the seed grow faster than it is meant to. He prepares the soil, sows the seeds, and then patiently waits. Similarly, we do our part through effort, prayer, care, and good intentions, but the results, the blessings, are in God's hands. And just like the farmer finds joy when the crops grow, we find joy when God's mercy reaches us, often in ways we did not even expect. This is why the humble and the poor, the dervishes and seekers, often find true happiness even without much worldly wealth. They understand a secret that many people ignore. Blessings do not always come when we ask. Sometimes they arrive without asking at all. Sometimes the comfort we need comes in a small, unnoticed way, but it brings far more peace than anything we could demand. Every blessing, every provision, every moment of ease is part of God's care for the world. He decides who receives what and when. The poor, the needy, the rich, if they recognize and appreciate His grace, they are all truly blessed. Poverty in God's eyes does not mean suffering, and wealth does not automatically mean happiness. True richness is measured by the heart's gratitude, the soul's recognition of God's mercy, and the acceptance of His plan. So, reflect on this. The money that comes to you, the comfort, the peace of mind, all of it is a form of mercy. And the hardships, the challenges, the delays are not signs of God's neglect. They are part of His wisdom, guiding you, teaching patience, and preparing your soul for greater understanding. When we grasp this, we begin to see life differently. We stop chasing after empty desires and start seeking the blessings that truly matter. The poor who recognize God's grace, and the rich who recognize God's grace, both are truly fortunate. The difference is not in the bank account, the house, or the possessions. The difference is in the heart, in the acknowledgement of mercy, in the understanding that God's care surrounds us always. So remember, true peace and fulfillment do not come from worldly gains. They do not come from status, money, or temporary success. They come from recognizing God's mercy, trusting in His wisdom, and letting His blessings flow naturally in your life. When we live with this awareness, when we open our hearts to His generosity, we experience the real comfort, the lasting happiness, and the deep satisfaction that the world alone can never give. This is the secret that many overlook, but those who understand it live a life of abundance, not measured in wealth or possessions, but in peace, gratitude, and connection to God. And this, truly, is the greatest blessing of all.